The United States has been crowned the world's most entrepreneurial country by the Global Entrepreneurship Development Institute, with a world rank of #1 and GEPI score of 85%. Americans are the trailblazers for successful startup businesses. Although China still ranks amongst the fastest growing economies in the world, the country's growth rates have decreased notably over the past few years, with a world rank of 61 and GEPI of 36.4%, turning more citizens to entrepreneurship. It is widely recognized as an important instrument of economic growth. So I, Jamila Mustafa, along with the JiLi team, decided to travel to Beijing, China to get a first-hand account of what entrepreneurship is really like. I arrived in Beijing, China on March 6, fully ready to immerse myself into the culture, traditions, food, and fashions of Beijing, investigating the relationship between entrepreneurship, social media, and communications. We're live in Beijing, China, where Chinese fashion meets New York traffic. You would think foreigners would be hesitant to travel with a population of over 2.2 million Beijingers, but they come here year after year not only for the historic monuments, but a little bit of fashion. I'm Jamila Mustafa reporting live from Salatoon, Beijing, China. Soon after, I had the opportunity to speak with Sarah Quinn, the general manager of the Easy Business Market, and Mawaz Izel, recent master's graduate and entrepreneur.
You can see many Chinese, they are also very active on Facebook and everything you can use. And for WeChat, it's kind of things created by the Chinese, the biggest Chinese social media company. And it's kind of like one of the must-have app in your phone. Everybody has a WeChat. They use this WeChat to talk to their friends, to communicate, to follow their kids, what they are doing, and to be connected with the social media. For business, actually, we do have a certain program, like we call it, it's a WeChat business, that people use WeChat to brand their business, to develop their business. And also, actually, it's starting with a new business mode for the new young generation Chinese, and they are using WeChat to create their own private business. They do not need to have an office, they don't need to have anything, any even legal registration, nothing they need. And just you have a phone, you have a WeChat, you have certain friends, and then you can be a representative of any product. Let's see, the water.
In terms of media, we all know China has the biggest restriction when it comes to media, how you advertise your business and so on. Let's have an example. Social media over here in China is quite restricted. We all know getting on Facebook, Twitters, and so on, it's quite restricted over here. We all have to get bypassed through the system before we actually can get connected to the other world here. But the fortunate thing is China, they already have their own social media network over here. It's called Weibo, which is playing a quite huge role over among the Chinese business entrepreneurs. So, in terms of product selling, so 80%, you can say 80% of the products that are manufactured and produced over here in China, they are exported to the outside world. So, there are a few products that are produced over here which has been sold in the Chinese market. But 80%, like I've said, 80% of the products that are produced over here have been taken out of the country. Personally, for myself, I would prefer to start a business over here, as China is one of the large outgrowing economic country in the world. So I prefer to start over here, and gradually I would like to extend, like I've said, from the other to the United States, and not even to the United States, to the other country. So yeah, I'm gonna just start it over from here.
I hit the streets of Beijing, China to see what Beijingers thought about education, social life, and modern culture.
Hey friends, I'm here with Andy to talk a little bit about the Chinese in Beijing culture, the nightlife, and what he likes to do for fun. Alright, so Andy, tell me a little bit about what you do here in Beijing.
I'm the very authentic local guy. I born here and also this is my country. And you know, China developing was very quick, and also there's so many tourists that like to come to my country.
Yeah.
And my job is to introduce my country to the tourists.
As a Beijinger, what is the #1 spot that you have to go to before you leave Beijing?
I think, like this area,
Yeah.
and also we call the street, you call street,
Yes.
we call it hutong.
Hutong.
Yeah, hutong.
Hutong.
Hutong is the narrow street of all the Beijing, and like me, 10 or 15 years before, there's not too much building like now.
Yeah.
So everybody living in the narrow street, everybody drive bicycle. So if you want to see the true Beijing, this
Yes.
is the original Beijing. And in Beijing, I push the people everybody know I'm the Beijinger. So I talk everything that's 100% is a true thing. But if I'm outside, of course I hope everybody know I'm not Chinese.
I visited and chatted with Ahmad Abrim, owner of Cleopatra Coffee and Hookah Shop, as well as Leader's Hair Salon, the #1 minority barbershop in Beijing, China, with celebrity clients like Stefan Marbury and Dwight Howard when they're in town.
Most of the foreigners here, when they come, they ask like all people here what we can do, what we like for business, stuff like that, and we help each other here. It's really like family here. Foreigners in China, it's not like foreigner anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can start a business anywhere in China.
Although Americans still hold the #1 spot for entrepreneurship, I think within 14 days it was clear to me that China is on its way up.